What's going on, mi gente? This is Prada's Take, episode 6, Fatherhood, Legacy, and Breaking Cycles. Now, as a father myself, obviously, I want to really dedicate this video to all the fathers out there, all the people who are want to be fathers, people who are about to be fathers, all those things. And I want to really like touch base on my experiences and roll up my sleeves and let's get started. Boom and boom. I know what absent feels like. And for every reason I had to leave or every reason I had to not be present, I chose to be there and I chose to be present. Now, I think about a lot of men that are in my community, a lot of men that are in um, my culture that don't really feel that way. But I think like fatherhood, is just so important. And it starts way before the baby is even born. And honestly, like, I think like it started for me by the way I love, by the way I prepared, by the way I stayed, by the way I paid attention, and the way I showed up. And I hope she notices as well. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is before the baby was born, and this baby, my Peanut, before Peanut was even born, life was already changing. And we talked about like Valerie being pregnant, um, holding off for everyone to like know about it because my mom was in Puerto Rico at the time. Um, Helping her out around the house, dealing with her cravings. Well, not dealing with it, but like helping her cook, helping her clean, helping her like rub her belly with olive oil and making sure she feels that intimacy, making plans together so she can walk around and know that I'm proud of that she's holding my baby, in that belly of hers and making sure that she's emotionally okay. And I think personally that's something that is actually very important that a lot of people don't really focus on. Understanding mood swings, the body image struggles. That one hits hard. And then staying calm and patient because those mood swings are coming. But sometimes loving somebody means understanding that there are battles happening inside them that you just can't fix. You can only support them. Now, I want to talk about like time management, balancing work, balancing energies, moving in together, like if you're not already together, and then creating that stability in the household. Now, as a teacher, like time management is actually like pretty important. You have to worry about so many things. So I relate that to my life. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that everything happens in order, happens in sequence, happening like on the time that I say it was going to happen, and making sure like the energies are good and make sure like I am putting my energies towards so many things. Moving together, bringing all my things over, making sure I am here, making sure we're spending time together. Like I like all that setting and prepping up the house. Like this fatherhood was starting way before I even changed my first diaper. And I know Val already has a child, Jasmine. So we already know that that's something that I had to be prepared for. That she already knew what was going, she already knew what was up, and I just had to, make sure I learned. There was a huge learning curve, and then also a fear that was happening to me. My intrusive thoughts came in, but nothing could prepare me for how like nervous it made me. It's fatherhood. It's my first time being a father. I'm 40 years old. First nights of like sleeping with the baby or sleeping on the side of him, like thinking I rolled over him while I was sleeping, trying to listen for every single sound, like changing diapers very carefully, um, hearing her, pumping in the middle of the night, her feeding the baby, trying to hold him carefully, like I was holding like a carton of eggs or something like that without the carton. And it's us learning each other because obviously Jasmine is a girl, so like this is our first boy, so and this is our first boy in a very long time on her side of the family, and ours was I think KJ, so it's been a while. And I wanted to make sure that we both carried the load, but make sure I first carried the load for her. It was all about partnership. So I wanted to make sure we always talked about like what was my responsibilities, what was her responsibilities, and then we went from there. And so I had to realize quickly that parenting works best when like it feels like teamwork instead of like, you know, or like feel like you're doing everything. And even there's sometimes you have to do everything. I mean, she was waking up every few hours and she was breastfeeding. I can't do that. I just had to help out wherever I could, cleaning, housing responsibilities, and obviously supporting her emotionally. And she was feeding the baby, so my job as the man, as the rock, was trying to protect her and protect that peace around her wherever I could. That was my responsibility, and I took that very seriously. So the next part I would like to talk about is actually fatherhood and what it means to me. And honestly, like part of why fatherhood means so much to me is what comes from my own childhood. And I know what inconsistency feels like. I know what inconsistency like that's really I didn't even think about that, like how it hits, but that inconsistency is like it it's so weird. I get so confused by that. Like, what is a father figure and who are my father figures at that? I mean, I feel like I was searching connection all my life, and that's probably why I've been emotionally distant with people, trying to understand my own manhood and what I want from my own self is actually like, it's pretty complex, actually. So, me having to navigate that definitely takes a toll on me, you know? So, I know men who came, you know, and left. So I was trying to figure out like what actually a father figure is. The emotions that impacted me emotionally was, you know, a person saying something, they're saying they're gonna do something and then they don't do it. So that really like those communication issues definitely like helped me disconnect. And I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm just trying to stay as reflective as possible because I don't think this pain automatically makes me stronger, but I do think the pain makes me more intentional in my decisions. And so, thinking about like the inconsistencies that I've dealt with, people trying later in life to be a part of my life and me just pushing them away, me not making emotional connections with people, which makes long lasting relationships actually, you know, e- not successful. And then me growing up as a man, knowing, how much I have messed up relationships or how much I have not been part of great friendships, actually, I kind of regret. So I think that's just something I have to reflect on a lot more. So looking at like everything else in my life, I just noticed because like everything that I've experienced, like it affected me, it affected my choices that I made. But the one thing I don't regret is staying. I think part of, certain parts of me, mom or dad's side, is being absent. And I chose presence. And not because I had to, it's because I wanted to. And that is loving the woman that I had a baby with. Like, 'cause she's amazing. Wanting a family with her, not just having a kid, not wanting just a temporary relationship, like urging for like some type of stability. And as a leader, I'm gonna build stability, wanting more emotional connections, taking time to get to know her, time to know everyone that's part of this, actually learning how to love someone deeply. Like let's just keep it real. Like some people don't even know the people that they're with. They don't even know the people that they're, being intimate with. They truly don't know them. And yet they're having kids with them. And that makes no sense at all. I mean, like, geez, like and anyone can have children. It's like bang bam, thank you, ma'am. You're here for a good time, not a long time, and all of a sudden now it's been 18 years. And it's either you're with the person you don't want to be with or you're just sitting there paying child support. And listen, I know some people make mistakes and I know people think that watering the grass somewhere else is going to help you. And the grass ain't always greener. But for me, on my end, especially when I talk about taking it seriously, who I want to have a kid with, I didn't just want a child. Like, I wanted a family. I wanted, like, I wanted to, like, build emotional maturity with my person. I wanted to make sure communication is right, shared responsibilities in the household, parenting together, growing together, like being on the same page is actually like such a breath of fresh air. And like when two people genuinely want peace, love, and growth, parenting just hits different. It feels different. It feels weird because we're always like born out of chaos. And I think that's something that we have to figure out. Like we shouldn't. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's move on to like what I would like to. These people outside. It's like 3 in the fucking morning. Anyway, so just going into. Sorry about that. See people talking about cuz and stuff like that outside. Like, what is going on right now? It's 3 in the morning. It's Thursday. Anyway, so, or it's Friday, actually. So, like, when we come to Peanut, I know he's gonna be getting older, and I think about so many things. I think about like how I'm gonna discipline him. I think about his emotional intelligence. I think about teaching him about manners. Please and thank you. Like I love that he says that because we taught him that. This is his foundation. And when I come home, we're like wrestling and playing, and I'm biting him, I'm throwing him around. So it feels, and I just don't play him right. I do give him affection as well. I do give him little kisses. His mom gives him so much affection throughout the day. So I know like coming here and just playing with him is definitely something that, anyway. But I also want to teach him that having feelings are okay. Whatever emotions he's feeling, teach him about confidence, speaking up for yourself, and engaging with him, even when I'm tired. Children remember who like played with them. They're not gonna remember who bought stuff for them. They don't really care. Materialistic things aren't really to them. They can buy them at dollar store stuff. It's the same if you bought something expensive. You know what I'm saying? But I love the games we play. You know what I'm saying? We mirror each other. We do sounds. We're learning on his tablet or we're learning with his blocks and stuff like that. Those milestones, we're killing these milestones. He's talking. I'm just watching him grow. And I'm honestly excited for his future. Okay, because I'm gonna make sure the goal is to make him better than me, make him an upgraded 2.0, 3.0 version of me. You know what I mean? But it's not to become me. It's because I want to build this foundation so he could be as stronger than I would have ever been. You know, and I think that's what family's about. That's what fatherhood is about. That's what fatherhood's about. Legacy, not money, not ego, not control, but legacy. I don't want my son, trying to like emulate me, unless I'm obviously I'm gonna be his role model, but I don't want him to be like I want him to surpass me. I want him to be emotionally stronger than me. I want him to know like to love more, to be more secure with himself, to be well grounded in himself. Because the goal is for him to stand on my shoulders, if need be, and go even higher than I ever could. And honestly, that's enough for me. And I hope it's enough for you guys as well. So wrapping it up, just like I started it, is the way I ended it. I know what absent feels like, and I chose to be present. To the moon and back, and forever and a day. This is my show, Pride of Steak, episode 6, Fatherhood. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, copy cool. This has been an episode. Copy cool, I'm out.